Everybody here. My name is Tom Camber, and I'm the executive director of OATS and the founder of Senior Planet. And this is such an exciting day, and I'm so thrilled to have the folks here from AARP and from the Lieutenant Governor's office and the Lieutenant Governor. It's like we're starstruck today. So I'm really excited, and people, the snow even stopped. So now we're getting a sunny day for this. Senior Planet is a labor of love, and it's been really a partnership over the last 14 years. And I remember when we first started at OATS, we got a phone call from an AARP chapter in West Harlem that had a little tiny office that Beth will remember, and they wanted to see if we could do a computer lab. We went up there, and they had computers on the floor, and we rewired them and built a little tiny lab and started teaching. And it was one of the first places that we ever did it with Carnetta Clark, and she was an AARP leader. And it was the first step for what has been a multi-year collaboration, and then the state has really gotten involved and helped promote us. For all those of you that are not as familiar with Senior Planet, we do technology classes for free for seniors. And it's really a place where we're learning about what's possible and where the future of aging is going. And so we're just thrilled to be here doing this today. It's not about Senior Planet today. I know it's really an event there's a big announcement here, and I'm not gonna spoil that by saying anything about it except to say that aging right now is at a turning point in America. We're really learning how to do new programs, new ways of living together. Being healthy in the digital age means learning new techniques and making different kinds of connections. And I know that the governor has been incredibly committed to these things and is a huge leader. And AARP has been working hard all over the state with the kind of capacity that they have. So we're just thrilled to be a platform for people to come and announce very exciting things. So without further ado, I want to introduce Lieutenant Governor Hochul and say that we're just thrilled to have you here today.
Good morning, everyone. Absolutely delighted to be here. I thought I'd wear green to complement the holiday colors, the red and green. I thought that was a perfect combination today. And it is great to be back with so many of my friends from AARP. And we had a couple conversations with my law school roommate who knows too many stories about me. So please don't ask Sally Micah, your general counsel in Washington, about our stories. Those should be still in the vault for another 20 years. Great to be joined by our friends in AARP statewide and nationally, and to have Beth here, who's been a friend of mine throughout the state as we continue our journey on behalf of seniors, and also to have our great Commissioner of Department of Health, Howard Zucker, is here as well, and we've been on many journeys together and other issues, and this is a happier issue, but we're often associated with our challenges fighting the specter of heroin and opioid addiction around the state of New York, something that is tearing apart families. So I want to thank him and his team for leadership on that and many, many other health challenges that you encounter at all times. And John Cochran, the Assistant Director of Government Affairs from the Office of Aging. But I love the concept behind Senior Planet. And if I can get a couple of personal lessons to show my millennial kids I know as much as they do, that I would really look cool in their eyes. So if you could help me out with that, I'd appreciate it. And that's just kind of a snapshot of today's senior citizens, older Americans, whatever you want to call us. I saw the slogan outside, aging with attitude. Anybody here have attitude? I love attitude. I don't. You can define it in your own way, but it sounds like take no prisoners. I'm not going down. I will not go quietly into the night. It's not happening. And so that is really what this is all about, a bold statement, a bold challenge to communities all across America to say, make them age-friendly. And AARP, working with the World Health Organization, has laid out benchmarks for what that looks like. It's not just a nebulous goal, oh, we like seniors and there's nice programs for that. No, this is a statement of priorities saying that we can do more as a state. When we have our sustainability conferences around the state of New York, and I attended 10 of them last year with the governor, we talk about what our sidewalks are like, how friendly it is for pedestrians, how accessible it is for wheelchairs. Those are issues that can help a mom in a stroller but also help someone in a wheelchair or a walker. So age-friendly transcends all ages. But it's not just the physical changes that we're looking for, and we've been so supportive of with our downtown revitalization initiatives and how we're changing the physical character of downtowns. It's also a statement of people's emotional needs and the need to feel secure in your homes and your places of work, your places of gathering. but also income security. And this is an issue, and I see a good number of women in this room. This is something that affects us later in our lives because of what happened earlier in our lives. And the fact that women are not paid fairly, equally as men from the beginning of their careers, catches up and haunts them later in life, which is why we have so many more women living in poverty than men. It is at least a $500,000 a year difference in what you're going to be living on as a result of the fact that women are not paid equally from the very beginning. So get to your daughters and granddaughters and let's work with them to make sure that we can help them negotiate a fair salary. And at the state level, I also chair a commission dealing with the income inequality that exists in our state. And yes, we're doing better than most states, but we want to make sure that there is no disadvantage to being a woman because of how you were paid when you grow into your senior years and you want to have that income available. Other issues that you may not think of that affect seniors. A lot of seniors go back and want to work, and they have to take minimum wage jobs. It's just a statement of fact. And they thought they were going to be okay after retirement. Come to find out, making the payments for the rent and the food and maybe send a little gift to the grandkids once in a while, it's just not working. So you will see them behind the counter at McDonald's. And that is why the governor fought very hard to make sure that we have a living wage. No longer should you work 40 hours a week earning minimum wage and be below the poverty line, which is what it was before. The governor said $15 an hour for fast food workers. We're going to get there with the rest of the state. But this is another area. You may not think of it, but it has a beneficial effect for our senior citizens, particularly women as well. So we also talked about security with income. We talk about our physical place, but it's also about making sure that people have gathering places as well. And I'm always enjoying the fact that when the seniors come, AARP comes to Albany every year, and we have our gatherings, and we also have other events where we honor people who volunteers. And I saw Randy Hoch standing behind me. Well, it's hard to miss him. He's about a foot taller than I am. But Randy Hoch and I have known each other since he was in high school. And as a young man, yes, is that true, Randy? All right. And he started working at the town of Hamburg, where I was an elected official, their senior center, and working with people with Alzheimer's and people who are really in challenging situations at our adult daycare. I'm going to tell you, it takes a special person to be able to handle those particular challenges. And Randy cut his teeth in difficult circumstances, but always approached his work with love and compassion. So making sure that we have programs for seniors who need that extra assistance because their health is not what they had hoped it would be later in life. People like Randy and people from this organization are there to help. So it's the physical needs as well. So we are very, very proud here in the state of New York that our governor's efforts, a challenge he put out to all of his state agencies in our State of the State address, and it's a thick book. And if you look around page 255, I think, or so, I read it all last night, not really. Tell him I did. He put out the fact that we will make as a priority to make New York State, throughout our agency policies, more age-friendly, and to look at what he calls our Health Across All Policies program. And why not? Why not have an examination of the impact when you're about to do something in agency, of the impact on all communities, but particularly to make sure that people can age in good health in our state. And so New York State, we're kind of bold. We love big challenges. We're proud of the fact that we are the birthplace of the women's rights movement here. We are the birthplace of the gay rights movement here at Stonewall. We claim credit for being the birthplace of the environmental movement, labor rights movement with the shirtwaist triangle factory fire. We've done all this. This is our new day. This is our new challenge, another statement to the rest of the country and the rest of the world that we are accepting the challenge to be the first age-friendly state designated in America. And that's a huge point of pride for all of us. And we will continue to fight for our seniors to make sure they're protected from financial fraud, other people who want to do them harm, make sure that they have access through our senior app, which to connect people to services, continue to support seniors. But as much as a happy day this is, I have to tell you, there's some dark clouds out there, particularly hanging over our nation's capital. Because if you've taken a look at what the President and the Congress are on the verge of doing to this country with passing a tax bill, which if you are a very wealthy individual, you are high-fiving today. This is a good day for you. But the rest of us will be suffering, and I have to tell you, the impact on seniors is going to be cataclysmic. Cataclysmic. Because no longer under the plans that are being proposed will you be able to deduct health care expenses, which hit us older in life. Right now you can deduct them for your taxes. They're saying, no,